You're an awful handsome feller. Do you know anything about women?
I sure do, Cousin Minnie. I know plenty about women.
Oh, you do?
No kidding.
Well, how come you know so much about women?
I guess it must be on account of half my ancestors was women.
Oh, they was? Well, that's nice. Well, what I mean is, do you think a feller should have a lot of women in his life?
No, Minnie. But he locks a lot of life in his women.
Well... plenty of life. I've got years and years and years of it. Well, when I was a young girl going to school, you should have seen the fellers just crowded around me. They just couldn't get close enough.
Then you must have had plenty of things like oomph and charm and personality.
No, but I had plenty of things like measles and mumps and chicken pox.
Well, that sure is a different way of being popular.
Well, that's right. You know, the boys can't say I didn't give them something to remember me by.
This Grinder Switch must be quite a place.
Oh, well, did I tell you about them folks that have moved in, them rich folks that live up on the hill?
I don't believe you did, Minnie.
Well, the lady of the house up there has got goldfish in her bathtub.
Goldfish?
Yeah.
She has goldfish in the bathtub?
Uh-huh.
Well, what does she do when she wants to take a bath?
She blindfolds the goldfish.
How's your Uncle Nabob, Minnie? He's the one that hits the jug, ain't he?
Oh, I wouldn't say he hits the jug. Of course, he takes a little nip every once in a while. But then he just does it on account of because the doctor told him he needed something to quiet his nerves.
Well, does it quiet his nerves?
Ooh, it sure does. Sometimes it makes him so quiet he can't hardly move. Did anybody ever tell you, Ray, about my brother?
No, Minnie, I don't believe anybody told me anything about your brother.
Well, then I reckon I can speak free then. You see, Brother's one of them fellas that has got excellent aims but no ammunition. But I tell you one thing, when Brother goes in swimming, you ought to see the way the young'uns crowd around to watch him.
You mean he's a great swimmer, huh?
Well, no, he's not such a good swimmer, but he's the only fellow they've ever saw that could lay on his back and paddle with his ears. Ray, I wish you could have been with us last night at the box supper we had at Grinder Switch.
Sure.
Oh, we had the best time. You know, a box supper is where all the fellers bid on the box of victuals that a girl's got, and if they get the box of victuals she's got, they get to eat it with her, see?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll tell you, when they was a-bidding on my box of victuals, I says to Hezzy, I says, ooh, you better get the box that I've got turkey legs. He said, yeah, I know, but what have you got to eat in the box? And after he had gotten the box of victuals I had, and we were sitting there eating, and I was watching him, how he was enjoying what he was eating, I said, well, I hate to brag, Hezzy, but I want to tell you there's just two things that I can really cook. He said, what's that? I said, I can really cook potato salad and coconut cake. He said, yeah, is that right? Well, which one is it I'm eating now? Well, now, for some news from Grinder Switch, I'll tell you right now, Flood Smead, he's a fella runs a dairy up there at Grinder Switch, where I live at. And he's got him a radio put in his barn so the music will soothe the cows and make them contented. And the other morning, he went in the barn to do the milking, and the cows was just jumping around, fidgeting and fussing, and finally, Fludge found out what was causing all the commotion. Somebody on the radio was singing, "The Yanks are coming." Fludge has since discovered what kind of music the cows like best. They like a solo on the bull fiddle. Well, so Uncle Nabob come over to the house last night, and we was just sitting there talking about old times. We was talking about last year when we went up to New York, and I was still laughing about that awful thing happened to me and Uncle Nabob on that elevator. Uncle Nabob never had rode an elevator before, and we went up there to New York and went in that hotel, and we got in that little cage, and that thing just shot right up to about the 15th floor. We got up there, and the girl that was running the elevator, she turned around and says to Uncle Nabob, she says, "What's the matter, Pop? Did I scare you?" Uncle Nabob said, "No, I always wear my pants down around my ankles this way." We got in up there where the rooms was at, and we went to Uncle Nabob's room first, and there was a little fella in a tight monkey suit with buttons all up and down it. He had Uncle Nabob's valise. And he run in that room and started putting up windows and turning on lights and everything, and then he turned around in front of Uncle Nabob and held out his hand and says, "Anything else, please?" Uncle Nabob shook hands with him. And the feller says, "How about a tip?" Uncle Nabob says, "I'll give you a tip." He says, "Don't do no leaning over in them tight breeches."